Hi Gina, thank you so much for your patience. I am very sorry that it's been taking a long time. I have shut down my Etsy shop ever since that past wave of clients that I had, because I realized it's really difficult for me to integrate all of these energies while doing these readings. But you happen to be one of the last people who got to get the reading. But I do believe it's all in divine timing. I've been very late with most of the people who have purchased the reading from weeks back, but they did confirm with me that all of it came at the right time. So let's see what is going on for you. And I know for a fact that you have very high frequency, advanced, awakened being, even from my Starseed clients, because rarely will I be suggested to grab the Thoth deck, which is one of the most advanced decks and one of the most esoteric decks. And also just the timing of this reading is coming to me at a personal pocket of timeline where I've experienced at least 3 major activations and upgrades in my, you could call it DNA or my complex. And my personal energy has a lot to do with whatever the client is going through. So I'm pretty sure that you're having a time that is incredibly blissful, actually, because it's at a time where all of these fruits are ripe for you to pick, and it's like almost harvest season. So you may have pockets of times where you look back at the past frequencies and it comes up again and again like an echo, but it's not the main thing you experience. You're at a new level and you can really sense this new life that is manifesting in front of your eyes, but that you've been feeling its frequency for a long time. So I did notice also that you didn't ask me for any specific reading, so I'm going to go into a general energy reading. But I do feel like whatever message that is coming is very profound. And they also asked me to work with some angel cards. I think one realization that's very important for you at this time is realizing moments where you are aware of your perception. So let's say that you're aware of your current circumstances, and then you have these memories of certain nostalgia over certain other timelines, and then you have this longing for other timelines, but you're at an awakened, more awakened state where you can be aware of those little perceptions, and perhaps realizing that there's always good and bad aspects to each timelines, and we tend to really idealize certain past narratives, and because higher frequency beings tend to really sense into the higher frequencies of those timelines, and then also with the future, without maybe acknowledging how it would feel to be in a human body, which is third density body, and going through those etheric timelines that we're thinking of, because the nature of it is obviously mental. We're not thinking in terms of if our physical body was actually in there, then it would feel a lot different, because the nature of that timeline is no longer etheric. That's one realization that I think you are having that I'm just regurgitating. Is that how you say it? And you know, for me to really amplify what you're already feeling, I think is good thing. A lot of the times my clients say, you've just really put into words what I'm already going through, or you just confirmed certain things. But I think that's important because it's an external validation of what you were feeling, and sometimes that's helpful. Definitely a profound energy. I think you're definitely grounding. I think you're experiencing the effects of all the grounding efforts you've been having thus far. Obviously, as a Starseed, if you're a Starseed at this timeline, I use the word timeline a lot. It's just, I'm noticing that I'm doing that, especially with you. So maybe it has something to do with you. Maybe you're constantly thinking about timelines. and how it doesn't resonate with your real experience. But anyway, you've been grounding all this time and having these efforts to ground. And this is a time where it's finally showing results, especially when it comes to your environment. So it's not necessarily that you feel any different, but that you feel the environment is supporting you. It's almost like a magnetic pull of this graceful thing. And one huge realization that you're having is that as you really start to actualize your infinite creatorship, you are finding that you don't need to necessarily earn things, but that you could really, when you are at an awakened state of realization of who you are, it's very naturally gravitating towards you. And one of those things could be grounding. And so a lot of the times, astrological signs can be a huge, anchor point to where people find out where they are and then realize what they need to work on. But there comes a point where you transcend that entire narrative, where it's almost like a passing weather, but it's not necessarily something that you feel resonance to the most minor degree, because you know that beyond this astrological laws, there is a more powerful law. So everything emanates from the law of one, then the law of three, then the law of seven, and then it goes on. And one of those layers is just the astrological events. But you are really learning to have fun and be playful with those lesser laws in terms of living your human life, which is under those lesser laws, but at the same time simultaneously having an awareness of the higher perspectives of the law of one or three or whatnot. Ooh, you finally built this ground where stability is gonna fruit itself. Stability is going to grow from, and it's not only financial but also communal, where a group frequency is achieved, that you've manifested a community that you can resonate with, whether that's on the internet or local friends, or it's just your immediate environment, or if that's you changing some of your closer people like friends and family. You definitely have a very important career in terms of either in arts or communications that is channeling this divine cosmic forces that you experience and that you generate. And part of your frequency is in that generation of a certain frequency in a grid. So it's almost like it can't be replicated by anyone, because you are basing this off of your authenticity rather than competition, and more of like a cooperation more than competition. So if that lower frequency thought ever creeps in, like you're being worried that there might be some sort of competition, or if you feel at times threatened by lower frequency people or jealous people, that somehow comes up as you needing the kind of self-worth. I don't want to say self-worth, but the self-confidence that nothing can take away this divine alignment that you have, that you experience, and that you channel. Because as you are aware of what you are, which is the state of level that you are at, there's no way that while you're still in a human body, it's going to be a replicate of something else, because it's literally like taking the highest form of truth and then experiencing it through such a polaric, divided vessel. And then as a result, it is a very authentic emanation that you will experience, you will emit. There's definitely an energy of romance. So I'm not sure what your romantic situation is, but there's a very slow progressing outward manifestation of divine love that is being experienced with a partner in masculine energy. And this person is very stable, very romantic, and very courteous. What do you call those people? Chivalry. Gentlemen. It's almost like these people come from another time, I'm gonna say timeline again, another era. Like, they're just so very confident, and they have so much to offer because they have this divine love. And the way that they're offering love to you isn't aggressive. It's very gentle and very respective. But at the same time, this gentleness and respect comes from their content with who they are and what they do with their time. And the absence of you is totally fine with them, even though they prefer to have you around. You being absent doesn't take away from their enjoyment and this overflowing bliss about life. That is why this person is so gentle in their pursuit, and they're confident, and that is why this is moving at such a healthy pace. Also, because high frequency people, such as this person who is coming up, they don't need such a hasty commitment. So when I see or talk to people who meet somebody that they really like, they really resonate with the other person, but they're wondering, like, why isn't he asking me out more often, or why doesn't he want to be my boyfriend, like, for example, or like want to get married and have kids yet? Those people, it's almost like they have a lack of consciousness about this connection with them, and that's why they want to kind of stabilize the state of the relationship with this tangible means, or some title, or some contract. But this person with you is a very gentle energy that is based on self-love, and based on sustainability, and based on this emotional ebb and flow. So it's like taking moment by moment and respecting each other's personal journey as to how it unfolds in your life, and then seeing where it goes from there. But there's this contentment from your aspect as well. Oh, I see that I'm not even really showing your cards. But I've noticed that I am starting to show my clients less and less what the cards are, but just reading between the lines more. But there is this aspect of you that is incredibly content with where you are. And even if you have certain lower fears coming up here and there, or certain moments of apathy, or certain past patterns of thinking come up here and there, it's very minimal. It's very minimal compared to where it was before. And it's just a sign that it's just going down so much that it's gonna eventually dissipate. But this is a time that you are really noticing the results of the inner work that you've been doing, and this patience that you've been cultivating. Now, the final outcome of this is you kind of being blinded by, or like not making a decision that you need to be making. And that is the Two of Swords. Now, I'm gonna need to clarify what that is about. So, yeah. Let's see what it's about. But don't worry, this isn't a final outcome, or I'm just going to need to get clarity on why you have this energy coming up. It's almost like you... Oh, I know what this means. Okay. I got it. But let me still pull the clarifier. There's going to be moments in time where, like I said, you're going to be going through these slight echoes of previous patterning, of thinking, of feeling, and it's going to come up slightly. And then you're going to need to be aware that you have a choice to make in those moments, to ask your higher guides or your higher self or the core of you to choose a different frequency of being, that more choices are available to you. Now, this is coming in regards to the whole overall message of your entire life, because right now what you have going on energetically is there's a little bit of love, there's a little bit of finance, there's a little bit of life's purpose. It's all like one melange of frequencies. And the main message that you're getting, first of all, is that these cosmic forces, it's almost like because you've been working so diligently on the alignment of your microcosmic and macrocosmic forces, and because you've been establishing this environment where the external world is reflecting the internal harmony that you have, you're going to be going through a time where this is all coming through. But then when you when the time comes where those little pockets of previous patterning comes, you're going to need to make a conscious decision to shift out of the frequency wherein it seems like you have no choice, or wherein it seems like your choices are limited. And I'm going to tell you what I use, because you seem to be a very high frequency person. This is going to resonate with you. Whenever you find yourself in a situation where you know you are experiencing something that is below the range of your average frequency, such as apathy or limitation or limiting beliefs, center yourself, focus on your heart, focus on your awareness, and then say oversoul. Or you could say that 3 times. And this one word is so powerful that if you are a conscious, awake person, it's gonna zap you into your oversoul's a range of frequencies. Like, just looking at it, like, it's just a frequency boost. And not everyone can do this, but I feel that you can. And if it helps, you can also focus on your pineal gland while you say that command word. It's almost like a command word, or like a magic, I wouldn't want to say magic spell, but you know when, like, in Harry Potter, they have these statements that they say to invoke certain energies. Oversoul is that word that reminds you of who you are, and it's gonna just help you navigate your frequency to the right level when you're going through these past pockets. Now let's get clarity on what these could be, and these are the angel cards. Okay. Ugh. One thing that comes up very much so is to appreciate the positive restraints. So whatever positive restraints or even pressure that you're getting from your external environment, or just these limitations that you're experiencing, can be a way to maximize a certain area of how you execute something or how you experience anything. That's just one thing that comes up. Wow. This is so weird. No, it's not weird. It's just not what I expected. But what you are getting here is regarding time. So remember when I was like, why am I called to say that word timeline so many times? It's because one of your major blockages where you experience the most resistance, as in when I said you have these previous patterning of programming when it comes to a certain area where you feel like you have no choice, where you feel like less of a frequency range than your usual life. That aspect of your life is time and this sense of patience. And so, wow, that is why you have this Knight of Pentacles in the near future, is to help you cultivate this patience. Because the main thing for you to realize is patience, and how you feel when you feel like you're running out of time, and how you feel when you feel like there's not enough time to get everything done, when you feel like you're so busy and you feel, you know, as a source consciousness, you know you should be experiencing the eternal now and the infinite presence. But I feel like one of the biggest challenges in your human life is that you feel like there's just not enough time to get everything done. So it doesn't matter how many hours in the day you have to sleep or to get your work done or whatever, I need you to take, whenever you feel this limitation and lack of time, I need you to do that where you recalibrate your frequency to that of your oversoul, to view this lack of time in a higher perspective. And what you're getting is to breathe. You definitely need to take some time out during the day and really observe the ebb and flow of this time, which in itself is a dimension, and each unit of time is an intelligent unit. You need to listen to what each unit of time is trying to teach you, and you need to really work with that kind of limitation that it's giving you, because sometimes it's about these tweaking your frequency in a certain way. Let's say that you are waiting in line for something and the person is being so slow, like a cashier is being so slow, and you are so impatient and you're like, I have so much to do. Listen to that moment of time, because it is an intelligent unit, and see what it's trying to say about your frequency and your belief systems, essentially, when it comes to things like age, when it comes to things like divine timing. And no wonder why I forgot your reading, because no, I'm just kidding. I mean, there must be a reason why I did delay everybody's reading, but not as much as yours, because I like, just for some reason your order just went right through my cognitive mind. And it's all about this divine timing. And sometimes things don't work as fast because not because you're not ready for it, but because the world is not ready for it. Let's say you're trying to make this, you're a musician and you're trying to make this song and it's not coming out as fast as you want. It's not getting produced as fast as you want. Yes, you're ready to make it, but maybe this song is too high frequency for the world to hear, and it needs to wait until the full moon or something. Like, you know, it's just a little example. When things don't work out the way you planned, it's just asking you to look internally and see what's going on internally. And you need to really realize, when it comes to this time, we're not living in a narrative where it's like human life is never going to be the same in about 10 years. I mean, if you have time, please watch my video on 5th dimensional technology and how much it's going to change human life. And we are going through that. Like, this golden age isn't a joke. It's really like, we're going to have this experience where we go from this 3rd dimensional being to this sudden enlightenment of having this influx of source consciousness from the central galaxy. You know what I mean? So that's that. And there was just one more thing that they were really trying to communicate. Breath work. This wasn't what I was trying to say, but please try breath work. Okay. There's gonna be a ceremony that I'm going to recommend to you, and this is unbelievable that I'm recommending it to you, because, you know, I'm drawn to recommend certain things based on my client's frequency, and they're asking me to recommend like one of the highest frequency transmissions I could possibly recommend, and this is called The Template Code 3. If you go on YouTube and search The Template Code 3, it's an hour-long activation, and if you are sketched out about spending an hour towards something, please know that this is an infinite stretching of your experience of time. This is a reminder for me to do a couple of things for my clients, because you represent like a base, and it's a message for me to do something as well. Okay, the last thing I'm going to pull for you is the Thoth deck. I'm going to pull just one card, hopefully, because this is a complex spread, complex card. they're asking me to say something to you, and this has a lot to do with this like Sumerian, like Atlantean type of like, you know, that kind of timeline with like Egypt and whatnot. You'd been in a situation in your past life, in your past timeline, where you were born into a very well-off family, like even as such as an empress or some figure like that, where you had all this free time to do whatever you want and enjoy life, while you felt this tremendous guilt while you're watching other people slave throughout their life. So you have this strange anchor to guilt around time and how it should be spent, and it's almost like you made this subconscious vow to see how it feels in your next lifetime to really work through the time and spend it in a laborious way, if that makes sense. And so you need to learn that it's okay to not be so stingy with time. Like, you can let yourself chill out and relax, and know that the best thing you could possibly do to spend your time is just to be aware of anything that's happening, even if that's nothing. That's better than frantically, cognitively doing something without being aware of it. Infinitely better. Meditation doesn't have to be whoa. Now, wow. Truth. So through this Thoth deck, I'm gonna get into it, and there's this Devil card that comes up regarding this. Swiftness is also related to time, right? This Swiftness card is like pointing out how fast things are gonna move, how fast events are gonna move. So if I may just share something, a unit of time really isn't measured by the duration of it, but from a higher perspective, a unit of time is measured by the intersection of how many different events and energies are working in symbiotic relationships within that function. And so you're coming through a point where time is going to be so interweaved with so many different events, and you're going to come to peace with sometimes not being so cognitive of that. So as long as you're aware of what's happening, in terms of aware of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, or just your pure awareness, as long as that's there, you need to make peace with how the time flows, because you need to realize a lot of the energies that are intersecting in that unit of time is above your cognitive state. It's beyond the level of understanding. Now, your need to kind of control and understand each energy that's intersecting in that time moment is this addiction you have towards third dimension, the fourth dimension. It's almost like a cellular grasping to that paradigm. But you need to just surrender this need to understand everything that's happening in each moment of time. So that was the end of your reading. I hope that it has been helpful. It's been quite a deep reading compared to a lot of the other ones that I conduct for clients. But I'm wishing you a lot of love. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider leaving me a review on Etsy, because it helps other people kind of gauge how the style is that I do them. I know it's really late, but I really hope that you enjoyed it still. Thank you so much for your patience. Well, you were really patient with me, so please be patient with yourself as well. Infinite blessings to you.